What episode is this?
Episode 22.
22. What do you mean? We're back.
Oh, it's been a nice little minute.
Man.
You're now tuned in live to Seriously Not Another Podcast. I'm your host, Ben. Ready?
Jeez.
Across from me is sitting my beautiful co-host, AC.
What's happening?
And next to her is, he's not here.
Who?
Sit next to her is a microphone.
Nobody.
Demas will not be joining us tonight, but I bet he's listening. So shout out to you for listening. You know what I'm saying?
What's happening?
Are you fucking kidding me?
If you're tuning in live, please jump in the message boards. Let us know you're listening live. If you can't, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate you listening, man. Let's get into it.
I'm looking for
Such a off week for me this week, man. Such a off week.
It was your birthday the other day. How's it an off week?
Yeah, it was my birthday, and I wanted to take a dive into that. I'm officially 35. 35, and
35.
I don't know, man. 35. It just, I'm not the type of person that be like, my birthday today. Put it out there and shit. So I don't know. I'm not a type of. I'm just a regular ass nigga, man. So I didn't really do nothing. Tomorrow I'm gonna go out and celebrate the dinner because everybody was working, of course.
Oh, so in other words, you having crab tomorrow. I know how you get down.
No crab.
Crab or nothing.
I think I'm gonna do some Mexican food.
Oh, okay. You should go to El Cholo's. I went there today. It's fine.
Didn't I told him El Cholo's.
That shit there, nigga.
On Western, right?
Yes, sir.
B-Hop said happy belated. Oh man, yes. For those that's listening, yes, I am getting older. But like I told somebody else, I'm not old. I'm just seasoned, baby. I'm just seasoned.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, can I get a toast? A cheer?
A toast to being over the hill.
Over the hill. Over that hump. And tonight we are drinking Jack Daniel, like always.
And Daniels.
So, y'all listening, we didn't do a show last week.
Tell them why. You want to go thought in the street?
No, of course not. A very good friend of mine. Some of you may have heard of him. Some of you may know him, but he's a Christian rapper Bizzle. He's on tour right now, the God Over Money tour. And I went to his show, and like always, he put on a great show. But the thing that tripped me out was I was sitting there, and a couple people came up to me and was like, "Yo, I heard your show, man. I like what y'all talk about on the show." I'm like, "Wow," you know what I'm saying?
At a Christian event?
That's what I said, right? So I'm like,
"Whoa,"
you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Yo, that's
every saint is a sinner, Jesus."
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know if you're a sinner for just listening to us. Are you sinning for listening to us?
Technically, every saint is a sinner, though. That's just facts.
Is it?
We were born in sin.
Oh, you mean every saint was a sinner?
Nigga, everybody lies every day of their life. I don't give a damn how often you go to church.
I don't know.
You
man.
done told a white lie in one way or another. Somebody asked you, how was your day? And you said, good, you're lying. You might have had a bad day. Or
okay.
Somebody you look nice, girl. No, she look like shit.
Why do women do that to each other?
I don't know. We just be trying to give people their life, I don't know.
Because women know when they not looking their hottest. Because women are their own worst critics. So if you step out and you like, I ain't feeling my hair today, having bad makeup day, my skin is tripping, blah blah blah, and you ask somebody like, "How I look, girl?" Well, even a close friend, some friends will keep it 100 like, "Bitch, you fucked up."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Other women just be like, "Oh, girl, you look cool," and then do the little side eye like, "Shit,
Yeah.
crazy."
Yeah. That's very true.
But turning 35, right? You still got a nice little time before you hit 35.
I'm 33.
Okay, you got a couple. You turned 33 this year.
I just turned 33
Right.
in April.
Okay, so turning 35, I realized how trash I am, right?
Trash?
Yeah, I realized how trash I am. So
What?
I used 2 vacation days at my job, didn't go to work. And the reason why I had wanted to stop answering my phone because people kept calling me like, "Oh, what you doing today?" I got tired of saying nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
I'm like, "Yo, like, what you doing, dog? What you doing?" "Oh, no, I'm just sitting around here at the crib." You know what I'm saying? Even my boy Bizzle called me on my birthday and was like, "Yo, what's going on? What we about to do?" I said, "I don't know. Like, I don't have nothing." And he even asked me like, "Yo, what you want for your birthday, dog?" I'm like, "Dog, no, I got everything I need. I don't need nothing." So,
Oh, wow. Excuse me.
no, I mean, not like that, but I'm just saying, like,
Hmm.
what can I say? Like, oh, I need these shoes. I got a closet full of shoes. I don't need no shoes. I just went clothes shopping. I don't need no clothes. Like, what do I need? I don't need nothing.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But
I
I most definitely realize how trash I am.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
Which I already knew I won't say trash. Trash is just a word I'm overusing. Like, I'm just a regular dude. Like, I'm just bland. I'm like white people chicken, just straight bland as fuck.
Wow. If you're white people chicken, I can't fuck with you. I'm so sorry.
You fuck with me though.
You're going to have to be a Parmesan crusted chicken breast or something. At least be that kind of white people chicken. You can't be no fucking Tyson fucking chicken breast grilled in the frozen bag.
Well, I mean,
I can't do it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's bad.
I'm just saying though.
That's
like,
bad as fuck. I'm not that bad. I'm all right. I mean,
right? You could be like a Parmesan crusted chicken at BJ's.
Where?
At BJ's.
I don't know if I would want that chicken from there. That's kind of bad too. The Parmesan chicken from BJ's.
That's just fire.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yo, you went there and ordered that? Like,
Yes, that's like one of the go-to dishes at BJ's.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I like the bread bowl, the clam chowder and the bread bowl.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, man. So,
well, can I open?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
This week, yesterday, we lost the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and I felt obliged to, make a little statement about that because I grew up listening to her every day at my grandmommy's house, and I don't usually get that impacted when artists pass away. I think the last time I was really impacted when an artist passed away was when Aaliyah died.
Yeah.
I didn't even really trip that hard when Michael Jackson died, and I'm a Michael Jackson fan. But this one right here, I've cried twice already because it's just like I associate her with my grandmother, like,
right. Right.
And she was truly the Queen of Soul, like embodied everything that her music spoke to your soul. It's like,
Facts.
you listen to her songs and that shit is still relevant today when you listen to what she was talking about. And then, they've been playing her shit heavily in rotation. So I was on my way home from work and they played A Rose Is Still a Rose, which is actually one of her newer songs that Lauryn Hill was on. And that song came out when I was probably like, maybe 11 or 12.
So you had to be in junior high because I probably was in high school.
I didn't realize how powerful that song was when that shit came on. I literally cried because I was like, wow, this shit is speaking to my soul right now, like the shit that she's saying and stuff. And so I just, it's been a challenging end of the week.
Yeah. And she is connected same way with me. Like my mom's, we wake up Saturday mornings. I wake up Saturday morning, that's playing. I know it's time to clean up.
Mm-hmm.
Them Saturday mornings, you know what I'm saying? Moms and today was a trip. I was cleaning out a lot of stuff in my closet today. And it was something my mom's it was some of my mom's stuff in there. And what I found in there was Aretha Franklin box set that she had. That she loved it. I'm like, wow, I still got that. Didn't even know, but I was taken back by it, and for some, it must be our age group because the last death from a soul singer was, or a singer was Aaliyah for me too. Like I think I actually dropped a few tears that day. You know what I'm saying?
I know I did.
Aretha, man, she was. Did you see the interview with
Wendy Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wendy, don't ever come for Riri. Are you kidding me? Talking about said something about getting into a fight or something, and Riri was like, look, you get your ass whooped.
You get knocked out.
Right.
And then she had another one where she was and I never seen these before until today or yesterday, where she was getting interviewed by some dude and he was asking her about Taylor Swift and Nicki Minaj. And Nicki Minaj, she was like, I'll pass. You know what I'm saying? It was just a trip to see how much personality she had.
Oh yeah.
And I read that she was doing shows and still taking cash, like the old days. Like there was a picture popped up and she had a wad full of cash after the show, which is dope.
Definitely.
You know, we don't have too many. I think I talked about this before about legends. We don't have too many legends left.
Nah, we don't.
You know, this is it's getting real skimpy.
And it's crazy because I even had one of my childhood friends send me a message on Facebook because people associated, well, at least the people I grew up with anyway, associated my grandmother with Aretha because my grandma rocked her so hard that it's like even this death reminded people of my grandmother, you know? And a couple people hit me up and was like, oh, I just thought about you because, you know, of the Aretha Franklin thing and grandmommy and how we used to listen to that as kids playing spades, you know, at the table and shit like that with grandmommy. And it's just, it's bittersweet because it's like on one hand, you don't want to see the person suffer. And I know she was ill, but on the other hand, it's like, it's just hard. You know, so R.I.P. to the queen. And
rest in peace. She most definitely was a staple.
Absolutely.
Like she was the great.
And it's very few artists who can crossover from gospel to doing the type of R&B that she was doing and still be socially accepted in the church and in the secular world. Right. Very rare, you know.
And her longevity though.
Absolutely.
Because like even when the Rose is Still a Rose came out, how many years she been out?
Way later.
And still had a banger.
Way later.
And sounded good with the new twist on it. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely. So had to do it. Had to do it.
Yeah, we gotta let one off for a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rest in peace. I know it's cliche, but it's gone, but most definitely not forgotten. Her legacy will live on, and I hope when they do her story, man, I hope they don't mess it up.
But you know what? Two things about that. I heard an interview with her on the radio where they were asking her who she would want to play her in like a biopic. And I think she had mentioned Jennifer Hudson as a possibility. Because, you know, it has to be someone who actually can sing.
That's funny. Because I seen one that people was in the uproar that, was it Halle Berry, I think? I think it was a picture of Halle Berry trying to play her. I'm like, nah.
Bullshit.
It gotta be, what's her name?
And even Jennifer Hudson is not even, I mean, I don't know.
I wish the old Jennifer Hudson, the big one.
Yeah.
The big one would have played it all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know about the Weight Watchers one.
Nah. You know. Definitely not. But another thing I was going to say about Riri is they had said something today about Fox News mentioning Aretha's death and then going to post a picture of Patti LaBelle.
Are you fucking kidding me?
How fucking dare you, bitch?
Yeah.
Don't you ever.
I mean, you know how they are.
Ever. Okay.
Is it far fetched?
They're just fucking disrespectful. Like, if you're not gonna do this shit right, don't do it at all.
Yeah, like you.
It's not that motherfucking hard.
And who they have? Patti LaBelle.
And not to say Patty,
Patty great, but she ain't
Patty
Aretha.
is fantastic, but no, she's not Riri. Sorry.
She ain't Aretha at all.
But neither here nor there.
Oh.
No.
Hey, I don't know, man. We really, if you had to say right now, somebody that's a legend that's making music in the present day, male or female, soul, R&B, who would you say?
Oh, an R&B artist?
Yeah,
R&B.
R&B.
Legend?
Yeah, R&B, soul.
That's hard. An R&B artist from today that's a legend?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I can't think of anyone that's out right now that I would say is a legend. I can't say that. I mean, like I grew up in the era where Boyz II Men was like big.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in like the R&B boy band era.
Still had groups
like Boyz II Men, Jagged Edge, hell, even fucking Drew Hill. But none of them are legends, though. I mean, Boyz II Men might be the closest thing to that, but they haven't come out with anything in such a long time that I don't know that would even still be what I'd call like a legend today, you know?
You know who was on their way to be one before the Coke? I think Chris Brown was on it. He could have been one, but
he could have. He could have.
He would have been one. He could have been
because he could dance and sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and this is sad because
I can't think of nobody else.
You know, this is sad.
I think if
I mean, the closest thing to it, which I know this is going to sound very contradictory, I'm going to preface that shit up front.
I know what you're about to say.
But the closest thing to it probably would have been R. Kelly if he wasn't a fucking pedophile.
All right. Yeah.
Because, he had all the hitters and shit, and he's very talented, but it's just shit that's going on in his personal life kind of overshadows his talent, unfortunately.
Well, he was a legend until that happened. The nigga wrote "You Are Not Alone" for Michael Jackson.
And if Usher has some shit out, I would put him up there, but he haven't came out with nothing good in a long time. Like Confessions to me was like the last good album that he came out with, but that shit was fire. Though.
That shit was bananas.
That shit was fire. But beyond that, I can't really say.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I love Jacquees though. But he's not a legend.
Nah,
but
the
nigga is fire,
like,
and people sleep on him.
Even with rappers, ain't no legends coming out no more.
A legendary rapper today,
yeah,
Drake would be the closest thing to that.
Drake and Kendrick,
Kendrick,
Drake, absolutely. Kendrick, and Cole might be. That's it. Like
yeah,
and they all came out in the late 2000s.
Yeah.
So from there on, it's we ain't got nothing left, man. So we gotta, these people that we have left as legends, and we gotta go out and support them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I want to see Sister with Voices out there.
What about female R&B artists that would be legends? Now this is the thing. I don't think she's a legend from the standpoint of like, oh, she has multiple songs that you can recall, but I think she's a legend based on the fact that her voice is fucking amazing and she's slept on. I think Kiki Wyatt's voice is fucking fire. Faith Evans.
Wait, is Kiki the crazy one? That's the crazy one?
Yeah, she crazy. The little light-skinned lady with all them kids.
Yeah.
Faith Evans still one of the people who got the fire hitters.
What about
Mary, of course.
Oh yeah,
she
solidified. She solidified.
I think Mary probably is the R&B legend of our generation. She came out with that What's the 411? She came out with that Mary album. She came out with that My Life, Share My World, like all fucking fire.
To come out with My Life and then follow that with Share My World, that's nuts.
All fucking fire, and her in concert is fire. She be doing her retarded little weird ass dance.
She milking the shit. She milking the shit out of that.
Yeah, Mary is
What about Jill
definitely
Scott? You think about Jill
Oh,
Scott?
hell yeah.
Jill
And
Scott.
Erica
Oh yeah,
as well.
Erica solidified. She's
And the reason why they're legends is because they can perform at Essence every year, and motherfuckers don't even get tired of them. They'll still go see that shit every year, and it'd be the same three. It'd be Mary, it'd be Erica, it'd be Jill. Sometimes they rotate one, add one.
Okay. Okay. So who you think more of a legend?
More?
Yeah, Mary.
You know what?
Oh no, wait. Well, hold on. I'm about to get not them.
Okay.
You know where I'm about to go. I think we talked about this earlier.
Okay.
Mary, more of a legend, or Lauryn Hill?
Mary.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because Mary has come out with stuff even recently that has been fire.
Yeah.
Like that album she came out with after she went through her divorce.
And she had to bring it after that. Every woman brings it after that. Breakups, squills, they bringing it.
Hell yeah.
They start looking their best, start having that shine, smelling.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That one where she was like, "You gonna pay for what you did to me or whatever." Oh, there's a special place in hell for you.
That's the name of the joint?
I don't know what the song is called, but she sang her fucking heart out on that shit. I live for it. But you know. But Jill is that bitch too, though.
Yeah, Jill is the last of the Mohicans.
Jill is that bitch, and I think Jill also was I don't want to say bitch. She was the one that I can remember even like when being a big girl wasn't even cool. Dudes would be like, Jill Scott is sexy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She just got that thing about her, like that natural beauty where she exudes confidence, and I think that's why people fuck with her.
And she intelligent as fuck.
And she's intelligent.
Like, she one of them females that you can't come with no half-ass bullshit. Like, you got to be on your A game. You got to be tip. Just you got to be that nigga to fuck with somebody of that caliber.
And she can act very well too.
Yeah, she can.
So shout out to Jill.
Shout out to Jill with her being the last of Mohican legends.
But what's up with you coming for Lauren? I didn't notice that. I've been noticing that you've been coming for Lauren a lot lately.
Well, I feel that people been giving Lauren a pass for a long time, and I've been saying it. And then there's Robert Glasper came out with an interview where he was basically airing out the dirty laundry about her and how she had a gang of writers. Like, that album wasn't her because everybody think she prolifically like wrote that album, Miseducation, and she didn't. A bunch of them songs came from other people, and and I'm not taking away from the album. The album is classic, but like I said before, when you have two prior albums with Wyclef Jean and Pras, who can't out rap them dudes on the song?
Can a person be a legend from one fire album? Do you think it takes multiple bodies of work to, qualify to be a legend? Or if you have like one album that motherfuckers would still say, I'll take this shit on a deserted island, like, does that qualify you to be in the running as a legend?
I think you got to have at least two.
At least two?
At least two.
Okay.
At least.
Okay.
And that's not, Lauryn Hill is, her singles game was crazy. Before that album, the Ready or Not, Killing Me Softly, you know what I'm saying? She was too big for that group in all actuality. Like, that's why her shit.
Well, that's kind of like how Fergie was with the Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah.
And she actually got added on later.
Yeah, because they didn't get the right. Cause I liked it then when they first came out without Fergie, but when Fergie came, it went from hip hop. They made them pop, like,
right.
They started doing all kinds of crazy stuff. They became
like Universal.
But with Lauryn Hill, like, and people that's listening, don't come at me. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying the album is a classic. She's nice. It's just, I think we gotta bump her down. Are we putting her before Mary?
Absolutely not.
Are we putting her before Jill Scott?
Fuck no.
We're
not putting her before Erica.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I say when people keep saying, "Oh, she's the queen. She's the queen." No.
Nah.
The album was nice, and it's still bumped to this day. but that's all you gave us.
Yeah.
And you gave us the MTV Unplugged joint.
But technically, Aaliyah only gave us 2 albums, but I still consider her a legend.
No, she gave us 3.
She gave us One in a Million, and she gave us Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, and then
That's it.
No, it was one after that. She was the Rock the Boat album.
That was the Aaliyah album.
Okay, what was her first one? AJ Number.
Okay, so yes, it was 3.
Okay, yeah.
But AJ Number.
That shit was dope as fuck.
I don't know. Like for me, like Aaliyah's like album that made her Aaliyah was One in a Million.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Then
no, she was still that one.
Was like that. Okay, you know. Kind of like with Beyonce, like when she first came out with Dangerously in Love, that like was like her like debut, like okay, she coming with the shits, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she came out with like that B-Day and then that Beyonce album or whatever, that 4 was like kind of like a little spot holder. I don't even think that shit was relevant, but really it was that Dangerously in Love album and that B-Day album that was like, okay, Beyonce.
But we knew Beyonce. We knew Beyonce was the one. We knew.
I don't know. Some people. Okay, this is the thing. Like some people really fucked with Kelly heavy.
I fucked with Kelly heavy. I think.
And there's a lot of people that I know personally who still think that Kelly got more juice and sauce than Beyonce, but that she's underrated. And vocally, Latavia was very talented.
Which one was Latavia?
That was the one who had the more deeper voice, the chocolate girl.
With the big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I used to like in high school.
LaToya Luckett was cool, but nowhere near on Beyonce and them's level for sure. But I don't know.
Demon said he in the message board, he said Sister Act 2. I guess he was talking about Lauryn Hill, and B-Hop said just don't let him go to Lifetime. He must have been talking about
he was talking about Aretha Franklin with the movie. Yeah, because they'll put any fucking body in there and not give no fucks about it.
Damn, remember the first Michael Jackson movie? And it had
no, the first Michael Jackson movie was that one that had
Flex.
You said Flex.
His name was Flex. Was it Flex Armstrong? He's married to Shanice. The one who's married to Shanice.
Flex was what?
He played Michael Jackson.
No, that wasn't the first Michael Jackson movie. The first Michael Jackson movie was technically a 2-part movie. It came on ABC. It was called
not the American Dream.
That's the one I'm talking about.
That was a Jackson 5 one.
Was that a Jackson 5 movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That shit was fire.
Though. Nah, that's dumb classic.
I had that shit recorded on VHS. I used to watch that shit daily.
These new school fools don't know about recording that shit on VHS.
Yes. We recorded that shit off the TV on VHS, and I used to watch that shit daily.
Did you used to pause it when the commercials came on? Or you didn't get that good?
Oh, nah.
Oh, okay.
We might not have even been home when that shit was actually recording.
Yeah, you can set it to record. You can preset it on the VHS.
That's if you have one of them electric ones. I probably had like the analog one that you gotta still press the buttons and shit. I don't even know if we had a remote for our shit at that time. But that movie was amazing.
So the first Michael Jackson movie was with Flex. And you know who Flex is?
Of course.
Yeah. Can you imagine him playing Michael Jackson? The grown Michael Jackson.
I actually could picture him playing Michael Jackson before Michael Jackson, became a white woman.
No, don't do Michael Jackson like that.
Are you
Don't
fucking kidding
get
me?
me wrong. I love Michael. He's like that family member that you love, but you still gonna call it what it is. Like, yeah, something wrong with Uncle Michael. But
Mike
that's
had,
my favorite
Mike
uncle
had
still.
vitiligo. Come on.
I don't know about that vitiligo bullshit. Now, I'm not going to say he didn't have it, but that's no reason for him to bleach his whole ass skin to become a white woman and then got pink lips and a weave. That ain't got shit to do with vitiligo.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I know plenty people that got vitiligo who don't bleach their whole ass face to become a white woman with lipstick and fucking weave. Come on now.
All right, y'all. We'd like to thank y'all for coming out. No, fucking.
And he had a straight weave. He didn't even have a curly weave.
Michael Jackson. All right, let's get off Michael Jackson. He had a weave. Nah, his shit was real when he caught on fire at the Pepsi commercial.
Yes, that was real. I'm talking about Remember the Time, Michael Jackson. That nigga's shit was laid to the guys. Are you kidding me? He had a bob. His bob was fire.
Hey, man.
Do you hear me? If they make some fucking lace fronts to be Michael Jackson's fucking hair in the Remember the Time video, bitches would be out here swinging all summer long.
Oh, my God.
All summer 18. What do you mean?
Jesus Christ.
I'm just saying.
All right, Mike. I'm about to start crying now, Mike. She over here shitting on Mike.
No, I'm giving him credit. His shit was together, but
it was
I
fake.
just don't know a lot of black men who would be rocking that. But hey, you know, he's his own.
Oh,
and you know what? It's
Christ.
crazy that we're talking about this though, because I was literally thinking about that shit when I was on the freeway the other day.
What part?
I was thinking how amazing Mike had to be a black man, to go from being a black man to being a white woman and still be socially accepted universally. That shit's almost unheard of.
Well, that's because he wasn't a woman. You think people still have their arms open if he really turned into like on some?
But he was very androgynous, and I'm just saying, like, it's rare when you have someone like that, like Prince, for example. It's rare when you have black men like that who embody certain qualities, and other black men will proudly announce that they're a fan of this person and feel no shame whatsoever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That just goes to speak to his talent. The fact that his talent surpassed any of those, you know,
and it's
distractions.
It's some manly men that is diehard Prince fans.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like,
and straight in the mug. No,
yeah,
no homo.
Them 70s babies, them niggas is in love with Prince.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Definitely.
I don't know what Prince was doing through them airwaves. I don't know if they got they had they first time with a chick was going on, but Prince had got them niggas all twisted. My cousin had every Prince CD. What was the name of his movie? Some Cherry Moon and
Purple Rain,
and I think it was Under the Cherry Moon. Whatever it was, he got 2 movies. He probably got more, but he had all that shit, posters, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But
oh, and OG Izo reminded us. He said, "Can't talk about MJ. He had Elvis' daughter. He sure did." And Prince did have all the fine women. He had what was her name? Something with an M. Not Melania. No. Mai Tai or some shit. But it was another one too.
Didn't he have the ones from that group? He had one of them. Was it Vanity? Did he have one of them?
I don't know. But I know what Demas is talking about though. He did.
Yeah, he most definitely did.
Yeah.
He may have had a couple of niggas too.
Yeah. I forgot about Michael Jackson being married to Elvis Presley's daughter. He did do that. She was even in the "You Are Not Alone" video with her little sheet over herself, naked with the sheet.
I don't remember her in that. You wait, in what video?
It was the "You Are Not Alone."
Oh, okay, I don't remember that one.
Yeah.
So,
but neither here nor there.
Neither here there. I'm trying to see which one of these to jump into. You want to jump into the? I know this happened last week. The nail shop situation.
Oh my God! You know what? I do. You know, that shit is wild. And just to add on to it, that situation that happened with the beauty supply where that dude just socked that lady up like that. Now, granted, she did hit him first, but still. But with the nail shop shit, my understanding is they did that shit over a $5 eyebrow arching that she didn't want to pay for. And I don't understand what's going on with them where they going to lock the people inside. Like, if anything, kick their ass out, but they'll lock them inside. And then I kept hearing the black girl say, "Stop hitting my grandma, stop hitting my grandma." So that's somebody's grandma y'all doing this shit to.
Right.
That shit was fucking unacceptable.
Because see, they tried to switch up the story, and they said she paid for her hands and feet.
Mm-hmm.
And she got the eyebrows done and didn't like it. They fucked her shit up, and she like, "I'm not paying for this shit."
Mm-hmm.
And they pushed the issue over $5.
Yeah, but you don't put your hands on nobody. She could end up owning that fucking shop. And especially if she's an older woman, she could have got hurt really bad.
Well, it hasn't been open since.
The shop hasn't been open.
Yeah, black people been out there protesting every day. Like, they ain't letting nobody up in there. I mean, because we are the ones that go there. How many times have you been to the nail shop and you seen the Asian in there getting their feet done?
Never. Just except the people that work there who do each other's shit during downtime or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no outside. If they there and they work there, they get up and they finish doing somebody else. There's no outside Asians that come there. You know what I'm saying? So we are, meaning us as black people, their main source of income.
Absolutely.
So if you sitting there beating on them, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you got black people out there putting their hands down.
But that's the problem. They're not running their business like how a business should be ran anyway. Because, most businesses want to make sure that the customer is satisfied.
Right.
And if they're not, they're going to ask the customer what can they do to meet their level of satisfaction.
Right.
And they don't feel like that. They be rushing. They be trying to hurry up and get you out so they can get the next person in. It's almost like they don't even have any respect for the quality of their own work. They just trying to get you in and out.
They want that fast money.
So it's like they're not even good at what they're doing from the standpoint of how they're running their business. That's a problem, And then even like, I don't like sometimes when I'm in a nail shop and they just like constantly talking all loud and shit in a language that I can't understand. And even besides the fact that they're speaking their own language, because I'm all for culture speaking their own language, but it's like, I don't want to hear anybody fucking talking while I'm getting my nails and shit done. I'm trying to relax right now. That's what I came here for, to pay for. This is like a relaxation moment.
Right.
I don't want to hear motherfuckers talking loud and laughing and all that shit. That's annoying.
That's why they call it a spa, right? They spas now.
It's supposed to be, and it's unprofessional for y'all to be talking all loud and shit while you doing my shit.
I'm pretty sure that when they're sitting there doing people's feet and
they talking about people.
Yeah, they probably like, look at this bitch here. Or,
now, I'm not gonna say every time they talking about people.
No,
hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, not your particular one you go, because I know people go to the same one, like, oh, I'll sit and wait for her, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'm pretty sure it's every day that they're talking about, somebody in there is talking about somebody there.
Absolutely.
But,
shit, if I knew African, I'd be talking about all y'all motherfuckers.
All, I mean, and I'm pretty sure other races do that too.
Oh, I know for a fact that people that speak Spanish do that because I understand some Spanish and I'll be like, oh, okay. They think I don't know. Absolutely.
Yeah, we can't do that. We was robbed of our
language,
our native.
I mean, but niggas had their ways of doing it. I know a whole bunch of niggas that got their own little languages when in their little cliques, and a female be sitting right there and they like talking shit about her. In their little codes. It's not necessarily a language, but it's definitely a code.
Right.
Tell me your squad ain't got a code.
Oh yeah.
Hey, it's like a female could be right there and you could just
nigga
say
lock
that
eyes.
word.
Nigga cut eyes to the side, like, you know what I'm saying, and throw the eyebrows that way, or it's cold words, that
absolutely.
Me and the selective few have be like, yeah.
They're like pineapples.
That's that's funny as fuck.
But pineapples is like, save me, bitch. This nigga's getting on my nerves.
That's for the women. That's what y'all do.
Pineapples.
Oh Lord, I thought pineapples was used for good things.
Yeah, it's a good thing when my homegirl saves me from this weirdo.
So to go into the nail shop situation, there was another video that came on. And to this day, that nail shop hasn't been open yet. And before I go to the other part, they had people, I was reading comments in the video. It was like, oh, well, they should just pack up and go to a nicer neighborhood and da-da-da-da-da. Like, shit.
But don't get it twisted. The white people in the nicer neighborhoods will not pay you for that shit if they don't like it either. The only difference is that they would not be putting their hands on those white people the same way that they do black people.
Oh, no.
Because they have respect for white people. That's the difference. If a white person says they don't want to pay for something, they just take that L. But when a black person says they don't want to pay for something, it's a problem. But I will say, sometimes Black people don't always know the appropriate way to complain about something.
Yeah, they'll jump off the handle and lose it.
You ain't gotta cuss nobody out and all that shit. And maybe even not necessarily just walking out. Maybe there's a conversation that needs to be had, because maybe there's something that can be done to rectify it, but you're not giving them the opportunity to do that.
Right. What I didn't like was the Black people that just sat there and watched them get jumped.
Whoever was recording was the problem too.
Yeah, them too. You know what I'm saying? Like that was trash. Like, you don't sit there and just watch them get beat up. You don't even know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just break it up. You ain't got to sit and jump in. Like, you can sit there and break it up. And like, yo, what's going on? All y'all not about to pack her out like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they swinging brooms and shit.
Did you see the one that came on, like, it was like maybe some months ago, where it was a Black lady who was trying to leave without paying, and they were trying to lock her in to the beauty supply, or no, the nail salon rather, and she was able to push her way through to get out, but then her child was still in there, her daughter.
Oh yeah.
And then the daughter was like all crying and stuff to get out, and there was a Black lady that actually helped the Asian people keep the daughter in there. It was like a big Black lady, and she was holding the door closed. Are you fucking kidding me? You know, and my thing is, okay, maybe this lady is out of pocket for trying to leave here without paying, but you gonna help these motherfuckers keep her daughter in there? Like,
they would most definitely have to get fucked up.
And then, like, there was a couple other Black people who were saying that. They were like, nah, like, you know, let the girl out, or whatever. But I don't know. It's disturbing.
Now, a couple days after that, there was another video of this Black chick. She went into a nail shop that was owned by Asians, and she was in there passing out cards, business cards. That. You know what I'm saying? I was reading the comments. I posted it, and people's in the comments, like, they was like back and forth. Like, some people felt like she was in the right, like, yeah, you go in there and get your people out of there, like, and other people was like, you know, well, you know, she could have did it a certain way and have to do it that way. That was unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? What you felt about that? You think she was wrong for going in there passing out her cards? Like, you think she should have waited till they came out? She said,
I mean, I definitely think it was disrespectful to the people who own that business, you know? I mean, that goes with any business. If you go in there and you're passing out your business cards and y'all are in the same industry, you know, it'd be different. Like, I've been in nail shops before, and there may be a guy to come in selling some jewelry or some shit like that, you know? It's not a conflict of interest, but when you talking people in the same industry, that shit is disrespectful. But at the same time, you know, people have disrespected us, so they're basically just getting a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, I think there should be more Black nail shops, more salons, for that reason, you know. And I'm not saying that all Black people should go there, but we should have options, you know, to support.
Yeah. I tried to support a Black nail shop in Inglewood. I called. I tried to set an appointment or whatever, and they were booked up like weeks in advance. And so then they were like, oh, but we take walk-ins. But, you know, if we're booked for the day, then you may not get in. So it was like, okay.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You know, and then their prices were extremely fucking high.
Now, are they doing different things that the other people not? Because I know what's popular now, like the gel now. That what it is?
I mean, they do all of those things, and they do the really nice designs and stuff like that. But I think that part of the reason why Black shops charge more is because, number one, they want to make more money, and number two, they might not be getting the same break on products and things like that some of the Asian companies do. So they have to pass that cost on to the customer, right. And in turn, their shit's more expensive. And that's the same thing with Black beauty supplies too. Their shit costs a little bit more than some of the Asian owned shops because they're not getting their shit at the same prices. So they gotta, you know, pass that cost to the customer.
Yeah, that's true. Cause they, you know, the Asians probably got you know, they probably got people down there that they
a
giving
plug.
the super plug, like just like how they get all that food for these damn buffets and shit. You know what I'm saying? They getting hella discounts on that shit. Ain't no way a buffet should be able to stay in business as much food as they make and much food get waste and house the amount that it costs. Like it's what buffet like $8, $9 a person, and you spending all that money on all that food. Like you either getting bullshit or you getting love down there from your fellow people.
But it's rare when you go to a buffet where the food is actually quality.
Yeah.
It'd be like, mediocre shit. I mean, it ain't nothing
it ain't nothing. Yeah.
I mean, and then if you go to like a buffet in Vegas or something where they selling like some nicer shit, it's gonna be expensive. You spending like $50 to get in a buffet.
Yeah, I most definitely spent $50 at the Rio, but never again though, because they said it was a
you talking about that lobster buffet, and they give you them punk ass lobster tails. It's like look like shrimp.
Yeah, but they don't. It's not all you can eat no more. Like you get a ticket now, and
I know it's a ticket for the lobster, and you get the 5,
and that's it.
Or you get the whole lobster, but it's still like a small lobster,
and that's it. You can't keep going back.
Yeah, for the lobster, that's it.
But yeah, man, that's.
Yeah.
But most definitely there should be more black women having these salons, like maybe or nail shops and spas. Maybe the one that in Inglewood you're talking about was so backed up because that's the only one where if black people want to support it, that's the only one they got. So, they're gonna flood the scene. You know what I'm saying? So most definitely should be more everything. It's
OG Iso said, you think black girls don't like black people doing their nails? They so used to the Asians. I mean, it kind of goes back to the prices too. Like, I think part of it is that, well, I can't speak for all black women, but I could definitely speak for myself. Like, it's hard enough for me to maintain that budget of getting my nails done every 2 to 3 weeks, even in the Asian shops where they may be charging like $35 for a gel fill or something like that. But you go into a black shop and now they charging you $65, $70. And then on top of that, you got to book an appointment like 2 to 3 weeks in advance.
Right.
Sometimes you don't know exactly what day you're going to want to go in there. You just going in at your leisure, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of harder to support them sometimes when there's more barriers that make it challenging for us to do that. So I think that the black businesses need to find a way to keep themselves competitive with the Asian companies. And I know that's hard to do, but unfortunately in business, it is what it is. It's like people are going to support the companies that, are the most competitive as far as the price and quality.
OG Oslo said, but in New York, they got African nail shops.
Oh, God.
That's a whole different thing. Like, I still feel like at the end of the day, we already come from, but shit.
Yeah, Anthony, you right.
What'd he say?
He said nails and feet gel is $70. That shit is absolutely facts. Like I mean, even at the Asian shops, you're rarely gonna spend less than $65 if you're getting your nails and feet done with gel.
Yeah, I go to one on Crenshaw and Imperial.
Oh yeah.
When I get my dogs done, and I get the full pack. That shit like $35.
Who you go to? You go to Diamond or you go to Diane?
I don't know their name. I just go.
Diane was my girl, but I left there because my dude used to work in that shop, but now he has his own shop.
Okay, that's
my nigga up. Lee.
And at which side? The side
he
where
was at the side
where Burlington
where Rainbow is.
Okay, no, I was on the other side where Burlington at.
Okay.
No, I don't want to get nobody no plugs.
Yeah, I was gonna plug Lee, but it's.
Oh no, well that's your boy. You still go to him? Yeah, that's a plug. Most definitely a plug.
That's his shop is Diva Nails on Rosecrans and Western in the plaza where 7-Eleven is.
Okay, that
my
Rosecrans and Western. That's what, Gardena.
Yes, Gardena.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so it said you go to the super ghetto, nigga.
Goodness.
Yeah, I don't even know how to respond to that one. I mean, I know people who live outside of the hood who come to that nail shop.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fuckery going on in that nail shop, but they do quality fucking work in there. And you gonna see some shit. Somebody gonna get cussed the fuck out for sure, because it's always a bitch who's gonna say she don't like her nails or something. And sometimes bitches strategically go in there saying that because they just don't want to pay. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is, almost everybody that come up out of there, they shit's together.
They still do it.
I'm just saying.
They still do good work.
When they see get her feet done, they start talking mad shit in their language. That's what they don't do. They love you.
Stupid. So before we go into our our hour break, I want to talk to you about the shit that's been going on in Chicago. All the killing. Have you been keeping up with that?
I don't. I try not to focus on negative shit. It's too much of it already.
Okay, so Chicago, as we all know, Chicago, Chi-Town, now dubbed Chirac, has been, it's like the devil's playground out there. You know, they killing, I think like 100 people or something crazy, 70, somewhere between 100 and 300 people was killed like in the weekend. Either killed or shot in the one weekend.
Wow.
Or 3 days, whatever the case.
That's wild.
And me personally, and people keep saying like, don't send the National Guards in there. Them niggas need National Guards in there.
You think so?
Yeah, it's 300 people in a weekend.
Do you think Trump gives a fuck about niggas killing each other? Why would he guard anything? That's what he wants to happen.
Well, let's see. Do I think he cared? No, but I think maybe the backlash of why he's not doing nothing, he don't want that, so he'll do it. Because there's been talks about it happening right now of them sending the National Guard over there. And it's so crazy. I mean, would you rather them sit there and just keep killing each other till they all gone, or at least the National Guard will come in and niggas ain't about to. If a nigga shoot it out with the National Guard, hey, it was just your time. You wanted to go. It is what it is. But if a National Guard go in there, I think it would slow things down.
I don't think they need a National Guard. I think they need some assistance, some programs, some restructuring.
They got all of that.
They
got all of that.
Do they?
They got shit like the Donda House out there. You know what I'm saying? But these young people don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, they like, yo, this Chirac, this is what it is. You don't understand why I'm like this, and fuck all that.
I'm not convinced that they have all that, though. Because if people felt like they have something to live for, they wouldn't be so pressed to shoot people.
I don't know, because it's people out, even out here. We got niggas that still gang banging to this day. It's niggas that, like I said before, still going to jail.
But if you talk to a gangbanger, they will tell you that they doing this shit because they feel like they don't have any other options. Of course, there's some where like their whole family been in the gang and they just feel like it's like they born right or whatever to represent whatever. But I think the majority don't want to be in that shit, but they just felt like, you know, the odds were stacked against them, and they just was like, "Fuck it."
Once upon a time, that excuse would have been cool.
Excuse.
But now, when we in the days of everybody becoming their own boss, it's niggas out here that's just slanging pills and syrup just to look like they own, and just to buy shit. Like, they're not trying to move on. So if you can be this guy and doing what you're doing, you know, you can do that shit on a bigger level. You don't know. And you see a lot of people out here, and it's even niggas like damn near every neighborhood out here got somebody that's on making moves, whether it's in the industry or shit with real estate or anything like that. And you see the shit, niggas still go that way. And you know just as much as I know, we both grew up in neighborhoods where we both could have ended up the same way. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And
definitely
we didn't. You know what I'm saying?
But that's because I grew up with people in my life who reinforced the fact that there were other options. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's going to take someone that niggas actually respect to go in there and really make people believe that there's other options.
Right.
And no one's doing that.
Let's see. Okay, like, well, like I said, the person that's when somebody's on in everybody neighborhood out here,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like let's say a RJ. RJ is he hang with gang members. Now, you see that he's doing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You could pick up a craft, like, oh, you nigga, you could tell that nigga get you a camera, and you can start shooting camera and doing photography work. You start working on it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that shit like, oh, this nigga going somewhere. I'm cool with that nigga. We need to start building and do that. Like, I think niggas out here is two setting ways to go. Like, there's niggas that everybody grew up around in the city and didn't, and in the midst of it, hanging around with all the gangsters. Excuse me. No mom or no dad, and still made it and changed their ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think some people don't want to change. I think
that's absolutely
banging.
true.
So gang banging now is just a social thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
trap life, period. I mean, it's glamorous. You know, it's like it's being glamorized in the music. It's being glamorized in the media. Absolutely. I definitely agree with that. But that's why I'm saying, like, it's going to take a whole culture shift. I'm not just talking about, like, just like, oh, like, it's going to take for it to be cool to not do that shit. But I can't recall a time where it's not been cool to be a gangbanger. Like, people still think that shit's cool.
Yeah,
because even in the music, they're still talking about that. You don't really hear people in the music saying how cool it is to be a business. I mean, Jay-Z talks about shit like that.
Yeah.
About
and look at the backlash he get when he try and tell niggas this is what's happening out there in Chicago. Like, nigga, stop putting money to your ear. Like, that shit is trash. Or do this and that. Like, Jay-Z gave a nigga a whole blueprint with that 444, and niggas was shitting on it.
I don't think there was enough publicity on that album, though.
Of course not. Because like, look what he was pushing. Why would it be?
But I'm talking about even just from a standpoint of them marketing that album. Like, a lot of people didn't really know that shit was really out like that. You know, Jay-Z and Beyonce both be doing that shit sometimes, where they just come out with these secret albums randomly and shit like that. And plus, people just not checking for new music no more like how they used to anyway. But Brent, what's happening? He said the gangbanging in Chicago is different than LA. There are no rules to the game out there, no structure. They're proud of the murder capital title. He said he grew up in New Orleans and was the same mentality there in '94 when we were considered the murder capital. It was like a badge of honor. That's probably true.
Oh yeah, that is true. You know, and you know, gangster was always glorified. Everybody rather be feared than loved in that era.
Yeah.
So,
but why do you think that is, though? Because I still think that a lot of it has to do with the fact that
it's movies.
In media, we glorify that shit.
But it was these movies. All these niggas mimicking is The Godfather,
right?
Scarface, King of New York. All these are, you know, all these gangster movies. New Jack City,
right? Exactly.
Boys in the Hood. This is what they glorify, and you got niggas that started gang banging, in Little Rock after seeing Boys in the Hood. You know, they start making hoods that was from out here in LA.
Okay, let me ask you this: what's a black movie that glorified education or entrepreneurship?
Was it Stand By Me? Lean on Me?
Lean on Me.
Lean on Me. That was educational. He was pushing the line.
Barely. He had to press they line hard to get them niggas to pass the SAT.
And
I mean hard.
What else?
But even still, that shit was made in like 83. So give me another one. You can't say higher learning because that shit was.
You could put higher learning in there.
Not really. It even the like plot of higher learning wasn't really like about glorifying education. It was really like, okay, the white boy coming and trying to kill a nigga because he on the college campus doing this shit. I mean, What's another one?
You can low key put Boys in the Hood on there because of Trey Pops.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think that was like the main premise of the movie.
Well, yes, it was. It was about that movie was about Trey.
Movie was about Trey, but the movie wasn't really about a nigga trying to elevate himself per se.
No, yes, he was. But he was in the middle, and then look at
Ricky.
You got Ricky and Trey are trying to set themselves away from the hood and move in the thing. And they got 1 foot in the hood, 1 foot out. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what everybody is living today.
Okay, let's go to the comments. So Brent says drumline. That's hilarious.
Hey,
Jazz, what's happening? She says Coach Carter. All right. I mean,
if she says Coach Carter, then we could put Sunset Park in there.
Anthony said Loving Basketball. Loving Basketball was a good one. Loving Basketball. Jazz Crazy Ass says Menace to Society.
Well, yeah, because what was her name? Stacy was going to play football in college.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we trying too hard to make that shit like be. I will give y'all one. I think Best Men was one because all of those people in that movie, it was like a group of people who went to school together and they all coming back to show how they didn't, elevated themselves over the years and stuff like that. Dude was writing his book and shit like that. I think that was a positive image of Black people in film. I would say maybe
okay, I'll put it like this. Look, the movies that we named were what was a situation of what Black people was going through. Like there's a bunch of Rickies. I went to a school with a Ricky. What was his name? He got killed when he was a star quarterback at Gardena High, and he was killed. You know what I'm saying? Like he was for sure shot to go somewhere, and and life was cut short over bullshit.
But do you understand how even that scene could be very discouraging to a young Black man? Like if he's like, see, look at what happened to that nigga Ricky. He was supposed to go to college, and look, they clapped his ass too. So I might as well start trapping shit. I mean, fuck.
No, niggas trying to play
Trey. Football,
Look at Trey,
and the nigga gonna get shot anyway. So shit, I might as well get the bag.
Leave it crack.
I mean,
Leave it crack
I don't think that movie is really a movie that make you want to go out and do some positive shit. Like, let's be honest. Nothing about Boys in the Hood makes a nigga want to fucking own a business or go to college or any of that shit.
You could have been Trey, or you could have been Doughboy.
Loving Basketball probably would have been a movie like that because at least you could see they was having fun in college and shit and had their little shit going on. But the point is that we're trying so hard to make this shit fit. There's not a lot of good Black movies out there that's promoting positive images of Black people.
Hey, shout out to Diamond. Diamond here at the River Ricky. I can't.
Hey, boo.
Diamond gonna throw me off with that shit.
That
shit old school.
I can't read.
It was a dude I went to school with. Ricky was the homie I went to school with, and it was his turn to read in junior high, and he kept brushing on like, "Nah, I want to read. And that nigga just snap. I can't read. So, that's crazy. She remember that shit. Boys in the Hood had subliminals. They talking about what's they talking about? They talking about somebody cried in the movie.
He's talking about Best Men. He said a when old boy cried at the end of Best Men on the second one, comedy.
Did somebody sleep with somebody's wife in Best Man?
Oh yeah, it was a lot of shit going on in those Best Man movies.
Yeah, that most definitely.
It
That's
was
exactly.
a lot of shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
I think I'm a
neither here nor there. We need more Black movies that promote positive images of Black people, because everything you seeing of Black people on film nowadays is fuckery. Even on these videos on Facebook and shit like that, niggas is out here fighting each other. Niggas is getting their ass whipped by Asians. Fucking white people shooting us and shit like that. It's nothing that's inspiring us to want to be better and do better as far as these images. It has to be someone that's in your life personally that's pushing you. But for the most part, there's nothing that we're really seeing projected that at least we had Different World and shit back in the day, or even the Cosby Show. But for the most part, you don't, or, Fresh Prince even, but they don't really have nothing right now that's making young Black people want to do anything different.
Well, the stuff that's out here, I think T.I. got a TV show called The Grand Hustle or something. Black. It's not appealing to Black people.
Who, T.I.?
Yeah, it's not ratchet enough. They want to see Power, and they want to see Love and Hip Hop.
I'm getting tired of Power too, and I used to like that show, but the plot is just starting to lose me, dude. It's like, okay, dude, like, when is Tariq gonna get shot? Waiting on that shit. When is Angela ass gonna get caught? Waiting on that shit. It was total fucking. First off, it's a spoiler alert, so if you didn't watch the last couple episodes, I'm about to say some shit right now, so don't listen.
Talk that shit, H.
But it was a total fucking unexpected change when that nigga Terry just peeled out on Tasha like that. I just knew that he was gonna go ahead and just testify or whatever it was that he had to do. So it has its moments where it's like something that happened that you don't expect, but for the most part, Power's starting to get kind of boring, y'all. I'm starting to feel about Power like how I felt about Empire. Like, I don't care if I don't see the episode on Sunday.
Is it that bad? As bad as Empire?
It's starting to, for me. I can't speak for everybody, obviously, but it's starting to get to that point where I'm kind of getting irritated with the shit. Like, okay, what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
All right. I need some fresh air. We're going to go into break real quick. Got a song by artist named Bodie. 2 words. Artist name is Bodie.
You should have played Bitch, I'm a Cow.
I can play that when we get up out of here, cause you gotta talk, you gotta go into that song.
Bitch, I'm a cow.
Here we go. We got Bodie. 2 words.
I never feel. So loving me is something you just told me. I wish you would have kept it real. Cause all the lies that you were telling, you don't owe me. Girl, you're not obligated to hold me down. And since you found out that I made it, you came around. All I have is 2 words. Fuck you. All I have is 2 words. Fuck you. Look, this is our final conversation. Cause this bullshit that you talking has got me losing my patience. Yeah, you told me that you had me when prison was my vacation. But that nigga that you fucking, you labeled as my replacement. So, I'm trying to work, but you killing my concentration. There's nothing else to speak on involving this situation. I was gone a couple years, and you got sick of all the waiting. And the truth is you got lonely, but I'm man enough to face it. So, why am I even wasting circulation on a woman in denial who has no sense of observation? I've accepted you moved on. We are no longer relating, but I can feel there's something wrong because you keep on hesitating. What? Should I listen or even have concern? Cause you have chose to play with fire and now you suffering the burns. Your heart is now in ashes and regret is on the urns. I'm sorry, baby girl, you have lessons to learn. I wish wish you loved me like you used to. Oh, I wish you loved me like you used to. Oh, baby, I wish you loved me like you used to. Fuck you. Realizing that you hurt me to the core. Made a promise to myself that it won't happen anymore. Cause I've adjusted to the fact that we are no longer a couple. And I'm thankful we have chosen not to go through all this trouble of trying to heal a broken heart that's overshadowed. Cause apologies are nothing in this matter. So I'm following your steps to go and find someone that's better. That'll stand up when this life is forecasting inclement weather. You'll be standing in the rain when you lose your fella, and I can be walking by, but I ain't sharing my umbrella. They said a woman's scorn is a nightmare to a nigga, so I'm about to show the world a good man gone bitter. Thought you was my Cinderella, till you lost your glass slipper. Now you taught it to the party of a real ass nigga. Karma is a mother is the motto of the year. So every time you think about me, these the words that you gon' hear, and that's fuck you. Your loyalty will never fail. So loving me is something you just told me. I wish you would've kept it real. Cause all the lies that you were telling you don't owe me. Girl, you're not obligated. Girl, you're not obligated. Girl, you're not obligated to hold it down. I wish you loved me like you used to. You came around, so it's fuck you. So it's fuck you. Since you found out that I made it, it's fuck you. Two words. I wish you loved me like you used to. Fuck you.
That was Bodie
I like that one.
with 2 words. Hope y'all like that joint.
I like that one a lot.
Oh, they were still in here talking. Okay, we got AC in the message boards. Oh shit.
Oh man.
Somebody told me to make a playlist of the songs that I've been playing on the show. Most definitely, I had to post that shit on.
You know, my favorite is that little
page.
chopped and screwed one.
Oh, okay. You still
I like
fuck with that one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Don't be showing me favoritism because I'm on that song.
I didn't even know you were on that song.
Yeah, I'm on the last verse of that song.
Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to it again.
Yeah, buddy.
I just like a good chopped and screwed issue.
That's cool. I mean, you can show love to the home team.
You
It's
know,
nothing.
you know, but you did your shit. You did your shit.
Thank you, my sister.
Did your shit.
Well, those I see y'all still up in here. You know, salute to y'all.
What's happening?
Let me see. Shout out to B Hop. Shout out to Demas, OG Eyes Low. You know what I'm saying? Anthony up in his team. Who else we got in here? We got Brent. Thank you for returning, my G. We got Jasmine up in here.
Jasmine.
And we had somebody else missing. Diamond D up in this joint.
Yes, my girl.
What the D stand for? I don't know.
Shine bright like a diamond.
So yeah, damn. It's what else? Should I go into the Baltimore police officer? Should we go into that?
You got all the heavy shit. What's up with the heavy?
I mean,
it's Friday. You want to give me that heavy?
I mean, this situation here got people like.
Dang.
I seen some people defending this nigga.
What's heavy?
What
nigga?
I'll wait.
What Baltimore nigga?
Okay, so we got the Baltimore police officer. If y'all haven't seen by now, there was a Baltimore police officer.
Oh, that black dude that was whooping on that dude's ass like that?
Yeah, he was seen on video unloading a flurry of punches.
A flurry of punches. A McFlurry.
Yeah. He hit that nigga with the McFlurry of punches, and a black cop assaulting a black male, older black male. And it was crazy because he was suspended instantly. No,
because he's black.
You feel me? Okay, now, you know, and
but he did go in like really hard, though.
Way crazy, right? So
yeah,
So it's like, and then the dude, he kind of like pushed his hand away. You're not supposed to touch an officer at all
before the
punch.
punches?
That's what made the punches go. Like he was in his face and he like pushed the officer. You know what I'm saying? And the officer just started the McFlurry, and he with the Eminem McFlurry and
that Oreo McFlurry is what he gave him.
And he beat the dog shit out this dude. And
yeah, he did.
And it was crazy that he got suspended right afterwards. As soon as the video came up, usually it take a couple days. Like this was the next day he was suspended.
Mm-hmm.
And was the trip was that it was people that was defending him and
defending what the black man did,
defending the officer. It was black people defending the officer, and I said, "Look,
why? Because he's black."
Right. So I'm like, yo.
So it goes both ways then.
This nigga beating him. If it's a cop beating a unarmed person like that, but it's different if you like hemmed him up and handcuffed him. Even the other, and that's another thing. I never seen a video with 2 black police officers there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So even the other black officer was like, oh shit, what am I supposed to do?
But he didn't really try to stop him either.
Right. So that means it's all about the blue shield to them. Mm-hmm. So they're beating a unarmed black dude. They just as guilty, or he's just as guilty as a white man would. And people should be in the uproar about this just as much, or black people should be in the uproar about this just as much as they would be if it was a white police officer.
Well, my thing is, because I'm looking at it right now again, it's one thing if he hit him a couple times to try to subdue him, but he was just taking off on him like they was in a hood fight. It's almost like he forgot he was a cop for a minute and went back to the hood and was like, I'm firing on this nigga.
Right.
So that is where he went wrong, in my opinion. It's like if he would have like pushed him up a little bit to kind of get him subdued and handcuff him, that's one thing. But that shit to me look like the fights that I be seeing on my timeline any other time. It's like, oh, a nigga disrespect you and hit your hand and you just start firing on a nigga.
That shit look like something off of World Star.
Yeah. So that was inappropriate.
So why aren't black people in the uproar about that like they would be if that was a white officer? This is why when shit happened with, white officers, other races,
we lose credibility.
Right. And they look and be like, well, you guys didn't jump and do this and that because of this. Now we have one of our own doing it to our own. And like, there's like no uproar, no marches, no, no black figures doing presses and all that shit for this.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's definitely a double standard. No, I don't think anyone will object to that.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a double standard.
This is the double standard, and that, like you said, it makes us lose our credibility in what we stand for. It's unfortunate. Like, don't protect this nigga because he's black. Like, get him up out of here. He's bad on the force too. And get that other fool up out of here for not even trying to break it up.
Right.
He moving people out the way so he can still fire on him. The dude, he was laying on the steps getting fired on.
Yeah. I'm looking at the still shot of him.
Like, he's not
it's not funny, but it is.
He ain't even looking at the police officer getting fired on. Like, he's looking to the street. He probably looking at the other police officer like, nigga, is you gonna help me?
It's another nigga just sweeping the sidewalk like ain't shit going on. I mean, it's wild. The nigga got on some hot pink shorts getting his ass fired on by the cops. Some shiny hot pink shorts and some fucking blue socks and white sneakers, nigga. And yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nigga still got a broom in his hand, like, didn't do shit though. I don't know. It's wild. I think probably part of the reason why nobody uproared on this one is because this video is honestly so ridiculous on other levels that it's like distraction from the fact of what even happened. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's wild.
Like how, I don't know.
Yeah.
Our police force, man, And then again, like, did the dude bring that on himself? Like, for some reason,
He did slap that nigga shit like, nigga, you
Yeah.
know? And this is like also one of those things, like, because I was just talking to someone about this earlier about how I think that officers should police their own neighborhoods because they're familiar with the culture in the neighborhood. So they're going to respond in a way that makes sense to the people in that neighborhood. So let's just use that argument for a moment. If that's the case, then what this cop did is kind of like a reflection of how niggas respond to that type of disrespect in the hood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If a nigga just slap your hand like nigga fuck you or something,
Right.
you gonna fire on this nigga.
That's
you know what I'm
exactly-
saying?
that's what I'm
So
saying.
it's like he kind of responded in the way that
Some
any
street
other
shit.
nigga would respond. But the problem is, nigga, you're a cop and you're working right now. Like, you're supposed to be minimizing this shit. You're not supposed to be participating in the shit. But that's what happens though when you take someone from the neighborhood who might still have certain mentalities of the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
He gonna respond like a nigga from the neighborhood. He forgot he was a cop for a minute.
OG Oslo said Freddie Gray. He said them was black officers. Yeah, I mean, and you know, I mean, what happened to them officers? And people stood up. Was all of them black?
Well, one thing I will say is that dude that killed that dude over the handicap spot did get charged.
Yeah. But we'll see if anything happened to him, if he go to jail or, you know, you can get charged and get fucking house arrest or probation for 7 years.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's he's
right. Saying charge doesn't really say what the punishment is.
Darby said, "Gosh, I wasn't going to watch it, but now I have to." The way AC describing it,
it was epic.
It was nuts. Hey, L Dog come in slamming shit. So high ass. He said they got kicked off the force. I'm just saying, y'all said it like we don't march against our own. We do. That's one instance, nigga. You know, how many niggas out here marching for niggas that get killed on the street every day?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I want to understand what he's saying. We don't march against our own, and we do.
He's saying like we say it. I'm saying it like, are we saying it like we don't march for our own?
No,
against our own. Against
like
our
as
own.
if a black person does something that's inappropriate, we don't go against that.
Or
we
if
don't
it's a
go
black
against
officer.
it in the same way that we do when white people do shit that's inappropriate. Let's be honest about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying that we don't do it at all, but it's not in the same way as when white people do shit that's inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean,
even with the shit with the Asians, do you know how many videos I see with black women whooping bitches' asses in Burger King, McDonald's, Popeyes, and all this shit? It's not the same reaction as these Asian people whooping the person's ass in the nail shop. Let's be honest about that.
Because
we laugh at the shit when we see niggas whooping each other's ass in McDonald's and Burger King and Popeyes and shit. But when the Asians whooping a black person's ass, then it's like, oh my God, how could they have done that?
Because
at the nail shop?
It's okay for us to do it to ourselves. It's basically like, nigga, you ain't doing it to us. We can do it to ourselves.
The same way we say when it comes to family. Like, I could talk shit about the family, but you can't talk shit about the family.
Yeah, we got a caller. Seriously, not another podcast.
It's just OG Oslo clarifying my comment because
okay.
I couldn't type that shit, man.
Okay, what's happening?
And I was just saying that, like, basically, like, we do it's been a few incidences where there was black officers involved in bullshit with the white officers, because we know black officers are like the overseers. You know, black people know we don't really trust black officers like that. We feel like they're, you know, on the other side too. If you know, came in contact with police. And the people march and stuff like that, like, wrong is wrong. Every once in a while there's some that slip through the cracks. Just like every once in a while there's some killings, some white officers kill blacks that slip through the cracks too. But for the most part, you know, I don't really see too much like differences when it comes to the police as far as against our own. You know what I mean? Because like Freddie Gray, them were all black officers in Baltimore, all of them. So you know, and that was one of the the things that kind of started, you know, a lot of shit too. You know, Freddie Gray along with Trayvon and everybody else. So like I just
So let
you know
me
I
ask
just
you this,
like
OG. Why is it that, like how I just said a moment ago, like I've seen countless videos of black employees at McDonald's, Burger King, Popeyes whooping customers' asses, and nobody that I've seen has said anything negative about that. But when we see the video of the Asian people whooping ass, it's huge.
because usually when you see a black person going off, it's with probably because everybody feel like, oh well, they should have went off like that. Like, oh yeah, if that nigga would have did that to me, I would have been going nuts too. I'd have been going crazy too. Where when it's another race, it's like, wait a minute, and then it be a lot of times it be within community situations that is already inflamed. Like it's already it's been like issues with blacks and Asians, you know, since the riots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like that's not like a new issue. So just seeing something like that and it going off like that, of course it's gonna go viral. Because,
So let
you
me
know,
just
we
play
already
devil's
have
advocate
like
for a minute.
yeah.
So you think that a person who owns their business doesn't have the right to feel like they're being violated when they are not being paid? Because it sounded like you were saying a moment ago, when black people go off on people or start fighting people in places of business, they're doing it for a reason. So a person who owns their business who's not being paid for a service that they delivered is not a valid reason to go off on somebody, and they getting cussed out and shit after the fact, after they deliver the service.
I mean, at the same time, as a business owner, you can't react to situations like, you know, like you basic, because you got a lot more to lose. So business owners usually just call the police.
But these were employees.
I mean, you know,
These are. I mean, I'm not assuming that every person that works in a nail shop owns a nail shop. So theoretically, these are employees the same way that the black people that work at McDonald's and Burger King are employees. So how is it different?
Yeah, them motherfuckers was fighting like all them motherfuckers owned it, huh?
because the Asians always be taught. I mean, just like when you were saying earlier, like you go into an Asian shop and they're speaking in Asian and they think that you don't know that we're, so you know, black folks is all vibes too. You know, I know you talking. I don't gotta understand 2 licks of a word you saying to not know and understand that you talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, with the Asians, I'm sure there was already conflict and already stuff going on in that neighborhood nail shop anyway. That's like the neighborhood nail shop.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know how many times them people already got into it with them and how far and how easy that the situation escalated.
Got it.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna let y'all continue with your topics. I don't want to interrupt. I'm kind of into it.
All right.
All right. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, no worries.
And just to clarify, I'm not saying that I think it's okay for Asians to put their hands on black people. I was only asking that question because I wanted to get his perspective on that, because I do think that sometimes we give each other passes on doing things that we wouldn't give other cultures doing. And I don't necessarily think that's a wrong thing or a right thing, but it's just a fact, you know? I'm not prepared to say that I think that it's right or wrong that we do that, but I know that we do it, you know?
Well, it's kind of like,
we, you know, it's like, even like when it comes to like disabilities or homosexuality or anything, black people, even when it comes to comedy, black people can talk about any fucking race in comedy, but let a white comedian talk about a black person and make a black joke. It's like a big ass deal. You know what I mean?
Are you fucking kidding me?
If we really being honest about the shit, there's only a few white comedians like Lisa Lampanelli or something like that who could really get away with talking about niggas and not get backlash.
That's because she done fucked enough. Yeah, I mean, I always felt like that. I always feel like that when you know, I'm always the type that fair is fair. Mm-hmm. Now, if you sitting here saying cracker or this and that, and you're making racial slurs, don't get mad when this motherfucker over here is going to say the same thing. You say cracker, okay, well, what, nigger? You know what I'm saying? Like, you done, and then now you want to start taking off on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you said the cracker 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It's rappers say cracker all the time. Let a white rapper come out and say nigger, and what's gonna happen? Or shit, nigga,
Yeah.
for instance. You know what I'm saying? So,
And I see it especially like in comedy,
yeah, comedy for sure.
I definitely think it's a double standard in comedy when it comes to certain racial jokes. And that's not to say white comedians don't make racial jokes, because they definitely do, but they can't push the limit in the same way that black comedians can. I definitely do see some areas where there's double standard, but I think that it's one of these things where sometimes we just feel like we had a right to say what the fuck we want to say.
I think
or do what the fuck we want to do.
Jokes, I think with us, would make it jokes about other races.
Mm-hmm.
It lean more towards funny. I think when the other ones do it, it's more toward like scandalous. Like,
but I mean, if it's a comedian, their goal is to be funny.
I heard a joke say, "What's the difference between a black father and a large pizza? What's the difference between a black man and a large pizza?
What?
A pizza can feed a family of 4.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So you have jokes like that.
So you're saying that they take lower blows. Like we'll say some lighthearted shit like, man, white people can't dance for shit or something like that. Yeah. Whereas they go deep with the shit, to the core.
Yeah, they cut deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
they do that. I will say that they do that shit. But I think part of it is also our perception of what they're doing too, because kind of like what OG Izo said a minute ago, like there's history there. So it's like, even if their intent is not to be, taking deep jabs, it's like there's so much history with us that anything they fucking say is going to be like a deep cut, you know?
Watch this. Hey, y'all know the difference between a black man and a large pizza? A black man and a large pizza. What's the difference between a black man and a large pizza? A pizza can feed a family of 4. That's a fucked up joke. That's fucked up, right?
He said, "Oh yeah, that's a fucked up joke."
You know what I'm saying? So like that's all the way fucked up. Now white people in their audience would laugh.
So
like,
you think Mexicans don't be thinking it's fucked up when niggas be joking about, how Latinas can get pregnant just by looking at them and all kind of shit they be saying in their little jokes and stuff like that?
Yeah, everything. I mean, it across the board, like, it's just fact.
Or talking about immigration shit and different topics that hit home for people who are impacted by that shit.
Yeah, of course. But that's what I'm saying. So if you saying all this and these motherfuckers get up and start saying some shit back, even if it cut deeper than the shit you just said, you can't get mad. Next time you better start.
But they got mad at Roseanne.
Well, Roseanne just that shit was just tasteless.
She said somebody looked like a monkey that actually did look like a fucking monkey.
And
from Planet of the Apes.
And she admitted that she
to
didn't
me
know.
That was a joke.
Yeah,
but a lot of people took that shit.
Yeah, you can't call a black person
she
monkey.
Didn't look like that shit, but she legitimately fucking did. Though.
It don't matter. You can't call no black people no monkey.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's the line.
It's not the same because it was a good joke to me because the bitch really did look like Planet of the Apes. But that's the point. It's like, who gets to decide what's appropriate and what's not?
I mean, we're calling a black person monkey. All bets
was
are
that
off.
lady even black?
Yeah, she's black. But
she must have been biracial or something.
That's what Roseanne said. I believe Roseanne really felt like she didn't know she was black. Roseanne.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't even think that lady was black.
When she snapped, she was like, I didn't even know the bitch was black.
I didn't either.
Now
she looks like, like a other. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, she don't fully look black.
But she do look like a Planet of the Apes, though. That's what she do look like.
I mean,
Lucy.
It's fucked up. I mean,
but neither here nor there.
Yeah, she said she thought she was white. She didn't say I thought the mother. Yeah, she thought she was white. I think I worded
she
it wrong.
was a tanned white woman too.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, with the language though, niggas gotta, not black people, but everybody gotta, respect each other. If there's going to be jokes, if you gonna say a joke like, white people clutch their purse when I walk by and shit, like that's stereotyping, right? That's stereotype joke. So if a white person come and say, I had to cross the street because I seen a black guy, like, accept that's an eye for eye. You said some shit, said some shit,
right?
And it always been like that.
Yeah.
I mean, as you say, neither here or there. But
that actually brings us to the next topic, because there was a video where a black woman was saying that she didn't get a job opportunity because of her name, and it kind of made me think about the backlash that Raven Simone got when she made that joke about the name Watermelon Drisha or something like that. I think it was. Watermelon Drisha or something like that.
That wasn't no real name, was it?
No, it was. It was a real name.
Somebody's name was Watermelon Drisha?
Watermelon Drisha. Something about Watermelon Drina or something. But,
come on,
Raven Simone said something on The View along the lines of just like how ridiculous the shit was, and how having a name like that could,
it most
impact someone's job opportunities. And it's actually true.
Yeah.
But she got a lot of negative backlash on that shit.
First of all, why wasn't Children's Services called on that mom for naming her for naming
Watermelon Drisha?
Who? It's already stereotypical for black people in watermelon. And you gonna name the baby after?
Are you fucking kidding me?
You gonna name the baby after that shit?
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
I can't believe y'all haven't heard about that. That was a big deal a couple years ago.
I didn't mean to do the horn. That was the wrong one. I didn't mean to do this.
Yeah, that shit really
Watermelon Drisha.
Yeah.
How was she grown? Is Watermelon Drisha grown?
I would assume so, because they're talking about jobs. Yeah.
Why, when she turned 18, she didn't go legally change that shit?
She probably couldn't afford to change that shit.
Do that shit cost a lot to change the name?
It's like 500, 400 and something.
Shit, you'll make that back with the jobs you get. Shit, that Watermelon Drisha ain't gonna cut it.
Who got 400 and something right now to go change their name? I wait.
Shit, I got it, but shit, nigga might be hurting like a motherfucker afterwards.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you fucking
just gonna
kidding
have to
me?
watermelon that bitch out for another month or two. Like, look,
nigga, so
I hit him with the I ain't got it.
I'm broke as fuck, but I bet you I get my chances of getting a job is way better because my name ain't fucking Watermelon Drisha. Okay, I can understand this. Look, Johnisha. Maybe her dad name was John. Mom name was Keisha.
Several Johnny's.
Who the fuck name was Watermelon Drisha?
Her.
Was she eating watermelon and put this together? Somebody splice this shit right real quick. Anybody in the room?
Her mom was craving watermelon her whole pregnancy, and her godmama name is Chandrisha. So they combined it, and it's Watermelon Drisha.
Bruh.
Yeah.
And no shot at my black people. She had to be a single mom
Wow. How you going to say something like that? Oh, my God.
Wait, let me finish.
Hit him with the, are you fucking kidding me?
Hold on. Let me finish.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Let me finish.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude.
Let me finish why I said that, because
wow,
ain't no way a father is about to let his daughter name be Watermelon Drisha.
It was probably that nigga's idea.
He need his ass whooped too.
Shit.
Watermelon Drisha, they not coming to the cookout. They done.
B-Hop said Kool-Aid Disha. I'm done. Don't be clowning because you got a good name. Benjamin Tyler Hopkins.
Hey, stall my baby brother out.
He got a good ass name. If you don't get no good job, then you did something wrong, Benjamin. Okay? Because you got the name. Now you just got to have the vision.
They said my name's Tyler. Benjamin Tyler.
Right.
Benjamin Tyler Hobson. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Lord. So the girl we talking about, we done went on a full scale rush on Watermelon Drisha. I can't believe that.
Yeah, but point being is that okay, this is one area where I guess black people did trip when a black person said something, because they definitely came for Raven Simone when she said something about that name. Now I don't know if it's because she half white and they was just going off on the white side. I don't know.
Wait, Raven Simone half white?
She's biracial.
God damn, I didn't know that.
She's biracial, and also Raven Simone does not identify as African American.
What she identify as?
She says that she's American. You know.
Okay, I mean we all American in this bitch, right? We
I don't know about that.
I mean,
I don't subscribe to that. I'm black.
Cool. So are you American?
I don't identify with the country.
You take your ass
I'm
to Europe. What are you if you go to Europe?
This is not my country. I just live here.
Okay. I mean, we don't know who own these countries. None of us own these countries.
I didn't say I don't own it. I said this is not my country.
What is your country?
I don't know. That's why I'm black.
You just took the goddamn test for the
It
DNA.
says I'm West African, but it didn't tell me the exact country. And so that's what I'm trying to find out now. So I used to think I was Tanzanian, but that's been disputed because that's in East Africa. So now I'm thinking maybe Sierra Leone or Ghana, but it hasn't been proven at this point. So I am black. I don't identify with being African. I get offended when people call me African American. Like when what's his name? The nigga that ain't been around for a while. I forgot the nigga name.
Pickles.
Yeah, Sour Pickles. When he was trying to debate with me about that shit, like I don't know sociology. I don't identify with African American. I feel like, white people think that's the politically correct thing to say, and it actually offends me more because it's like they want to differentiate the fact that you're African American. You're not American. So I can see why Raven Simone wanted to just say, "Oh, I'm American" or whatever. But I don't really subscribe to any of that shit. I'm black. Fuck it. That's just my attitude about it.
Cool. So what you identify as? African American.
He says he's African American.
Hey, Gregory, what you identify as?
He says he's a nigga.
Yeah, nigga most definitely gonna come up with that nigga, I'm a nigga.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What do you identify as, Ben Ready?
That's a good question.
You don't know?
I mean, when I fill out applications, I put sometimes it's African American, it's black.
We're not talking about applications. If somebody was to ask you what race you are, what would you say? We're not talking about the box. The box only gives you like one or two options.
No, the box gives you unlimited options.
What do you call yourself?
I'll go with black. I'll say black. African. I'm African American. Fuck it. I'm African American.
Oh, so
at the end of the day,
you just gonna hit them with a switch up?
I mean, I don't know. We was taught that the shit was the same shit. But
we were taught a lot of things.
That's a good question.
And I'm gonna tell y'all why I don't identify as African American because in my opinion, in my humble opinion, I think that an African American would be someone who either was born in Africa or they have family that is from Africa and they live in America. Like I have a friend who's a first generation American. His family's from Nigeria and they now live in America. So he is an African American. Like he has.
Was he born? But he wasn't born here.
His mother and father were born in Nigeria. They came here and they had him.
So they're still Nigerian. If they was born there, if you born in America, you would be American. Period.
But my point is just to say I would consider him to be African American because he still grew up with, African culture in his household and he lives in America. His parents are African. Like they have citizenship, originally in Africa and then they got citizenship in America later. So to me, that's the African American. And even though we have like roots from Africa, if we're really being honest, we don't relate to Africans culturally.
So what is
You
black?
know?
Tell me what
So
black is.
I
Explain.
don't think it's even. I think it's kind of like one of the reasons why Africans sometimes get offended when we identify as African American, because they feel like we really don't know shit about Africa. And I can honestly say that I don't. You know? So how am I going to call myself African American when I don't really identify with African culture, other than the fact that I have, you know, descendants that are from Africa like eons ago.
So explain black. So tell me where black come from.
Black is just talking about your features. So that's just saying like, oh,
our features is from Africa though.
But black is just a term that's used to describe a person who is of color. So it's talking about phenotypes and stuff like that. Like you're black, you look like you're black, you know, or they used to say colored back in the day.
Because it's multiple peoples of color. So you have
that's true.
You have that's like a Hispanic over here saying that, oh, I'm brown. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, oh, I'm brown.
Exactly.
No, they identify as.
But another difference between us and Hispanics is they know exactly where they came from. So it's easy for them to identify as Mexican or Puerto Rican or whatever. How many of us can actually say that we know what African country we came from? Or have any part of us that identifies with our actual African culture? I know a lot of Mexicans who still got a lot of Mexican traditions and culture in their lifestyle. So it's easier for them to identify as Mexican than for us to identify as African American.
Okay, so look, how many generations have your people been in here, like here in America?
At least 3 to 4.
So that would qualify you as like you generations deep here. Like you should be American at this point, right?
Technically, I am American. I choose not to identify as American.
Oh, okay. Now we got somewhere. Hold on.
I choose not to identify as American just because I don't feel like I'm a part of this country either. Okay. You know, I don't feel accepted by this country. I have American, you know, culture and tradition as far as like the, you know, the pop culture and like the shit that Americans are known for, but
we celebrate
as far as me feeling like I'm a part of this shit, like not
we celebrate
really. I'm
hella American holidays. You know what I'm saying? Like we follow.
I celebrate Cinco de Mayo too. So does that make me Mexican?
No, but
because that shit is a holiday in my squad. We celebrate that shit like
it is a holiday.
Like niggas should be celebrating Kwanzaa, which niggas don't. How many black people actually know any goddamn thing about Kwanzaa and actually celebrate the shit? I wait.
You heard them crickets.
And I make a point to acknowledge the day, Nia, because that's my daughter's name. And I make a point to acknowledge that particular day of Kwanzaa. But for the most part, I could say I don't either. So that's my point. Like, I'm not trying to diminish the fact that we have descendants from Africa. But what I'm saying is if we're being really honest with ourselves, we don't have a lot of things that we do that connect us to the African culture. We don't.
Exactly. That's why I would say, like, if you're here.
And we have the option to seek that out, but we still don't choose to do that a lot of times.
Because how many generations are we removed from Africa? You feel what I'm saying?
3 to 4.
3 to 4 generations?
I know niggas who will go to Cabo before they go to Africa.
Well, that's because Cabo is like party central. I mean, you know, you got the.
So you think it's not some fun shit to do in Africa?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm not trying to find out either.
I'm pretty sure it's fun to go. It's
fun to go anywhere. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's like the Cabo is like in the top 10 tourist attractions.
The closest niggas to get to a black country might be Jamaica or some shit like that. But for the most part, black people, in my opinion, you know, get all sensitive and stuff when people don't want to identify as African American. But it's like, how are y'all or we trying to be connected to African culture. And I know that there's a lot of Africans that want us to be connected, but we're not.
OG Angelo said Kwanzaa is low key made up.
Oh, wow. I can't speak to that. I don't know anything about that.
But you know, I mean, you know, when you sit and have we got D'Anthony up in this joint. White boy, what they say? White boy from the hood is still European American.
OG Izo is crazy. He gonna say, when we dance, we move. That's African. Cornrows are African. That is true. That is true.
What you think about the white boy from the hood is still a European American? Or is a white boy from the hood still a European American?
He's asking, is a white boy from the hood still a European American?
Yeah, what you think?
I mean, technically they are. And see, that's the thing too. Like, white people know where they came from. If you ask most white people, they can tell you like, oh, you know, we're German, we're Italian, we're French, or whatever. Even if they might be, you know, a white boy in America, for the most part, they can tell you what country their family derives from. But there's not a lot of black people that can do that.
Well, I think that's on the individual to go back and check.
And that's why they don't say European American, because they know where their roots came from. And white people take a sense of pride in saying they're American. So that's why they so quick to be like, oh, I'm American. Because they feel like they own this shit. You know, it's some other shit there with that. But, you know, we don't have the time to get into that topic.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic.
But all I'm saying, y'all, is that for all of y'all who's out here pro-African American, be about that shit. Hell, educate me. Tell me some shit I don't know. I want to learn. I even more so now because I know what percentage and everything. I'm eager to learn, but I'm being honest about the fact that I don't feel connected right now. And I don't think that that's something that people should be ashamed to admit. Like, if we don't feel connected, we don't feel connected. But help me feel connected.
I mean, honestly, and this is just me speaking, no disrespect to everybody, like, I don't even know enough history about my own family, so I don't think I would go that far and be like, oh, well, let me go check. I'm all about, that's like, and I'm different from a lot of people, like, when people say get out and go travel, like, I still ain't seen parts of where I'm from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been to New York. I ain't never been to Maine to go crack lobster. I ain't never been.
It's a lot of black people who don't even know who the fuck they daddy is. Let's be honest about this shit. We got a lot of shit that we need to find out about ourselves, even within American culture, let alone trying to go back to African culture, you know. And it's like just so much other shit that we got to worry about as black people, where we don't have the opportunity, we don't have the luxury of even trying to find out about our African roots and stuff. A lot of times we so busy just trying to make it day to day. Who got time to really go look for that information?
It's a lot of people that do. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you really, really wanted to do that,
and you have to want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's all on the individual.
Right.
Like, if you really wanted to, you would go do whatever you had to do to go see what's, in Africa or whatever the case. Like,
I'm definitely going to Africa, though.
I mean, me personally, it's bucket list for me because my boy Bizzle, who show I went to, he built a water tower in Mozambique for them. He built a water tower out there, and he put it in my mom's name. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to go out there so I can see that personally and take a picture in front of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's my reason, for me to go out there. That's first and foremost for me to go out there to see that. But
I'm going to read what OG Izo said. He says, your soul is African, AC. Don't let them people take your roots and your history. Our history is deeper than slavery. So, African American. You're right. I know that I have history that traces me to Africa. So, I'm just being honest about the fact that I don't feel connected to African culture. And that's something that I do eventually want to learn more about. Because most people that I know who have actually been to Africa come back talking about how that was the best experience of their life. They feel like they found a part of themselves that they never even knew was there. So I know that that's something that's going to happen when I do get the opportunity to go. I'm just speaking as to how I feel right now.
I think that's because us here, we take everything for granted. Like everything we have and what a lot of them villages don't have, like we most definitely take it. Whether it's jobs out here, the amount of money we make, our jobs, the luxury of, just being able to, fucking drive 10 minutes, 15 minutes and go see the beach, or driving 10, 15 an hour away to see something different. Like we have the luxury we have the luxury of so much stuff. That face. Oh, you look like a little baby making that face. We just take so much for granted, and you see these people making stuff happen with nothing, and they just as happy. Like damn, it makes you appreciate more. Than Kendrick came back and made September Butterfly, which was probably one of his most prolific albums to this day. You know what I'm saying? So it's most definitely stuff out there. A lot of black people go out there, they come back a different person. You know what I'm saying? So
definitely. I ain't gonna lie, OGI, so I was disappointed when I found out that I was 22% European. I wasn't expecting that.
I've seen it.
Okay, I'm light skinned. This is true. But I did not think that I do have a tan.
I see you look
melanin on fleek.
I see your little caramel poking out. I see you.
But I was expecting for my percentage to be higher than it was, and I was disappointed about that. So I'm not disputing the fact that I got the African juice in the sauce. I'm just saying I don't feel connected to the African culture.
She said she got that juice in that sauce.
I want to get there. I really do. But
that nigga said 22% with your red bone ass.
I know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I seen it. You should have. What percentage of white you thought you had in you?
I was thinking like 15, 16, maybe 8% or something number. Like that. I wasn't expecting no 22. Nigga, we on episode 22, nigga. The fuck? 22?
Oh, that Kusa looked at me like, nigga, please. Hey, what's wrong with number 16, bro?
Man.
Oh,
I don't know.
Shit.
But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and it was what it was.
It's all on the individual. One thing that you said was, you said Europeans, they don't use European American because they know.
What country?
Right. So since we
they
know.
They don't have to say European.
So since we know what country we from, is it safe for us to say we just American now? I'm just asking.
I'm an Inglewoodian.
Inglewoodian?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I'm a town avian.
I will claim that one before I just outright be like, "Oh, I'm American."
I'm a full blown nigga from the east side, man.
I don't feel connected to this president. I don't feel connected to the shit that our justice system spews out. It's a lot of American shit that I don't feel connected to. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, I'm American. Like, I know that I technically am, but I just don't identify as such.
This one thing I'll say about Trump, that Trump did and went in there for white people and his people like we thought Obama was going to go in there and shut shit down for us and get shit popping.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
no fucks given.
Right. So that's what, like, nigga, fuck what you saying. Reparations, nigga. We just knew reparations was coming when Obama went in there, right?
Reparations was Obama phones.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Couldn't even give us iPhones.
Well, he gave us health care, though.
I mean, technically,
it was
niggas
trash,
already
but
had Medicaid and Medi-Cal and all that shit beforehand.
Yeah.
All he did was make it to where it was law that you have to have health care.
Yeah.
And then created some little discounted packages and shit.
This nigga's out here with swipe cheese that ain't been to the doctor in forever. You know what I'm saying? So, nigga, for that nigga, I mean, but he went in there. Trump went in there and put the mask down for his people, man. We was waiting for that with Obama. You know what I'm saying? And he went in there and looked out for the gays.
Obama?
Hey, he went out there and looked out for the gays.
Yeah. He legalized marijuana.
And I feel like by him doing that, he should have freed every nigga that was in jail for weed.
Oh, they did start releasing a lot of people.
They started. They didn't finish.
I mean, they gotta wait for stuff, you know.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's gonna happen. Niggas in there with pounds of that fire that they've been moving from here to New York for the greater bread. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Niggas ain't out yet, so you know.
Well,
we coming to the end. Did you want to slightly give because I know you wanted me to play that song. Did you want to slightly
yeah.
Slightly give a intake on the song that we about to play while we get up out of here?
Bitch, I'm a cow. What's her name? Doja Cat.
Doja Cat
got the video that's viral right now with her little cow issue going on. Look, I know it's ridiculous, but if you take the time to listen to what she's saying, it's actually clever as fuck that she was able to make a whole song using cow analogies, you know. She was talking shit to bitches like you know,
I ain't gonna front.
Using the cow language, you know.
I ain't gonna front. I hope it's good because Doja Cat is a nice artist. So I hope it's good.
You say you hope it's good?
Yeah, I hope it's good.
I feel like it's not gonna be. You know how certain songs you got to see the video to like the song. So we're gonna play the song, but I feel like it's one of those where it's like you got to see the video too to get in the mood of the song.
Right.
But neither here nor there.
If I had $5 every time you said that.
If I had $5 every time you said red flags.
And
Ooh, that shit be bothering me.
And not gang banging.
Red flags.
We talking about
you
signs.
See the red flags? I don't care what nobody say.
It's
always some red flags.
It always red flags. I think you don't like it because you done seen red flags and you like, man.
I am the red flag.
I don't know how to take that.
Take that.
Tookin'.
Bitch, I'm a cow.
Well, y'all, we about to get up out of here. We about to play Doja Cat. Is it called Moooo? Like a cow
it's called Mood.
Mood.
That's why I'm like,
okay.
Why he gonna put Mood?
Mood. So, shout out to OG Islo, Anthony, Benjamin, Tyler, Diamond. Who else we got? We got
Jasmine,
Jasmine,
Brent,
DeAnthony Pitts. What up, bro?
Anthony Fields.
DeAnthony. That's a name that's a name that's a rap now. They don't name niggas DeAnthony no more.
Yeah. DeAnthony was a badass kid. Every DeAnthony I know was bad than a motherfucker.
Probably like chili beans and shit.
He the type of nigga that leave a quarter of milk in the jug and keep that shit in the refrigerator. Leaving boxes of cereal open and shit. Shit going stale, nigga. Shit God damn, DeAnthony. Shit. Getting his ass whooped.
Well, she not lying there. Like, I know DeAnthony got his ass whooped like a motherfucker. Oh, shit. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for listening live. AC, it's always a blessing to have you in our presence. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise. It's a pleasure.
And AC, you going out of town, so
yes.
Want to make sure you have safe trips. I appreciate you coming here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's been a crazy ass week.
It has.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you was able to make it.
I did.
Oh, shout out to Demus. Demus was in the message board. Shout out to Demus. He probably ain't even listening. You know what I'm saying? Bust ass nigga. So, all right, y'all. Well, we up out of here. Here go Doja Cat with Mood.
Yeah, bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. I don't say meow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. bitch, I'm a cow. I go
Are you
moo.
fucking kidding me?
Moo. Moo. Yeah. I said, bitch, I'm too smooth. I'm not in the mood. Tryna make moves. Tryna make moves. Bitch, I'm too smooth. I'm not in the mood. Tryna make moves. Tryna make moves. Got milk, bitch. Got beef. Got steak, ho. Got cheese. Got
Are you
great
fucking
A-ho.
kidding me?
Not lean. Got me A1. Sauce, please. These heifers got nothing on me. Stakes high, need a side of collard greens. Cash rules everything around me. Ice cream, ice cream. You a calf, bitch. You my daughter. I ain't bothered. Get slaughtered. Got the methane. I'm a fodder with my farmer. McDonald. And they feed me real good. It's an honor. For the cheesesteak, other than that order. Chili cheese fries as a starter. Got the steroids keeping me stronger. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I ain't not a cat. I don't say now. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. Go moo. 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 Yeah. I
Are
said,
you
bitch, I'm
fucking
too
kidding me?
smooth. I'm not in the mood. Tryna make moves. Tryna make moves. Bitch, I'm too smooth. I'm not in the mood. Tryna make moves. Tryna make moves.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Bitch, I'm a cow. 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 Old MacDonald had a farm. I give him a titty, tryna keep him calm. I'm just tryna turn up in the country. I ain't in the city cause they ain't got lawns. Suck a nigga dick or something, E-I-O.
Are you fucking
Shitting on these
kidding me?
bitches, I'm the thing I know. Tipping on the stick, I see the chickens and the pigs. They wanna catch us riding dirty with them fiends, I know. I ain't a moose, bitch. Get out my hay. Get out my hay, bitch. Get out my hay. I ain't a moose, bitch. Get out my hay. Get out my hay, bitch. Get out my hay. I ain't a moose, bitch. Get out my hay. Get out my hay. Get out my hay. I ain't a moose, bitch. Get out my hay. Get out my hay, bitch. Get out my hay. Milkshake brings all the boys to the farm, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. And I treat you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings all the boys to the farm, and they're like, it's better than yours. Damn right, it's better than yours. And I treat you, but I have to charge.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's better than yours, but I have to charge. What it do? It's better than yours. It's better than yours, but I have to charge.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?